restart, if that was the case when, remember when we were doing it before. So watch for this. That's the important part, right, of the whole story. Now here it is, it's on. I see the GNS3 server version 2.2.5. I'm expecting my GNS3 VM here to become green too. Okay, so that's very important. Meanwhile, while I'm waiting, I click on help, I'll do about, and I will check the version. It's supposed to corresponding to the virtual machine. 2.2.5, 2.2.5. That's crucially important, guys. Very important. They're supposed to be the same version. Otherwise, they won't work. You have two prerequisites to do. Need to do is to go wherever it says player. Now, very important, once again, you're going to be prompted to start a project. Cancel this. You don't want to have a project. You see, it's supposed to be empty. Then go player on the GNS3 VM. Navigate to manage and choose virtual machine settings. So, player, manage, virtual machine settings. When you open it, by default, the network adapter will be host only, the first one. The network adapter 2 will be not. The network adapter 2, you're going to leave it like this. You click on the network adapter only, and you're going to change from host only, you're going to click on the bridge. Most probably it will ask you to use credentials, ETU 6, ETU 10, ETU 15, whatever you use, with the password, you know it. Then it will be chosen. Then you click replicate physical network connection state, as I did, and then you click on the configure adapters. Here it is. Now, again, it will prompt you. Like me, it might prompt you for credentials. Okay, the next thing you need to do is to choose your wireless adapter. Everything else is supposed to be unchecked. Only your wireless adapter. If you're using the internet from the cable, well, you need to choose the one which is there. How you gonna know? Well, IP config, and you're gonna see wherever you have default gateway, that's your adapter. You're gonna see the name of the adapter, and you're gonna leave only this one here. That's all. Okay? So that's done. As soon as you do this, you click OK. I'll click cancel because for me it's done already. You click OK here as well. I'll click cancel, and that's all. Okay? You're gonna have the same state like me. Then you minimize that one. And then you come here without open a project. You see, it says, please create a project. That's what you're supposed to see. Then you click edit. And then you click preferences. Okay? And on the preferences, you're going to navigate to the second option, which says server. Okay? And it says here host binding, somewhere in the middle. And it will show you either local host or 127.0.0.1. Now, when you see 127.0.0.1, once again, you need to check your IP configuration. So I would like to see what's my IP address. I just need the IP address. Okay, so my IP address is the one which has a default gateway next to it. So that's the one, 192.168.60.34. Well, yours will be something similar, most probably 192.168.60. See the subnet mask as well, 255.255, and the default gateway. Okay? Then you come here and you change the host binding from 127.0.0.1 or host only. You find out the IP address we just saw, 192.168.60.34 for me. That's my IP address. Here it is. Let's open again here. Here it is. That's my IP address here. Okay, you see the same IP address. You need to choose it like that. Otherwise, we're gonna have trouble when we start working. Then you minimize this one and you just click apply. Now, when you click apply, it will reboot the GNS3 virtual machine. It's normal. You just wait until it's back. So click apply now, and I wait. The virtual machine is rebooting, you see? The GNS3 virtual machine is rebooting, and it will come back now. So because I changed the binding, it reboots the virtual machine. Okay? It is very important when it's back, guys, you to see that there are not supposed to be any errors. If there is an error, this window will be much larger, and it will show you something. So it's very important to not have any errors. If you have errors, we're gonna work on them one by one. So you minimize this guy, you click OK, and now you could open a project. So I'm gonna go and open a project, which I already prepared. Let's say I know this one is working. As you see, when I click on a project which I already have on my GNS3 virtual machine, it's actually become green. And I'm opening the T09 module, which I'm working with some of your friends. Okay, here it is. And my GNS3 virtual machine is on. That's a crucial moment, guys. What I just showed it to you, it's very important to be done. Because after this, when you want to access from your laptop this interface, that's how you're going to be able to do it. Otherwise, no chance. Okay. Now, starting our infrastructure, we'll start a new project. I'll click file and I'll do new project. And I'll call it T09. I'm sorry, T14. That's what we do, right? I'll say T14. I'll click OK. And it will be white, right? Now, you're not going to see this new. Now, the next thing we need to do is to implement in our infrastructure now to implement all the machines we already did. So I'll open just to remind me. These are the machines. Well, let's finish with the Windows Edge though, and then we'll do it. So the Windows 10. Here's the user. We set the password, you know already. And here it is. Now, when you open it for the first time, it would be sorry. It would be the license will be expired. Well, you just do sysprep, okay? And then you create your own user with your name, you put your own password, and it's done. And then you could use it for the next 6 months. I'm sorry, 3 months. Integrating, let's start importing the appliances. I'll click Edit, I'll do Preferences. The first, I'll go here where it says VirtualBox VMSs, and I will add, well, I have already BDC, so I need to change the names actually in PDC. I'm gonna change the names. Or you know what, I'm gonna use this ones which are here. I'm not gonna put new ones, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. So I have MS Server 2016, I have Server 2016, everything is here. So I'll use these ones. But you guys, I'll show it to you how to do with, let's say, with what to show it to you with the, so I'll do next. On my local computer always. Now you wait the list to populate. Then I'm gonna choose my firewall 1. I need my firewall, right? I'll click finish. Well, then I'll click edit. I could change the symbol here with browse. I could choose any of these icons which are here. Well, for you, most probably you're not gonna have this if you're using a little bit older version. You could check. It's optional thing. It's not necessary to do it. I'll click here circle red and I'll find out where it says firewall. So to change the symbol, here it is. The other thing, I could decrease a little bit. I could do here half of the thing, 1025, 24, and 512 is 1536, a gigabyte and a half. Important thing is in the network. So you need to that's very important to increase up to 4 adapters. Remember, we have 4 adapters. And the most important is to click allow GNS3 to use any configured VirtualBox adapters. Otherwise, it won't use them. Click OK, and you do apply. And it's there. Here it is, FW1. And I'm waiting just my Windows 10 to be done. Afterwards, I'll reuse this machine, which I have already here. I don't need to import. But what you do is the same way as I just did. Okay? So as soon as my jump box is done, I'll click here, next. I'll wait until it's done, populated here, and here it is at the bottom. Always the last virtual machine you create, it will be at the bottom. That's a good thing. I'll do finish. Then I need to do something here, edit. I could change the symbol. I'll use the square, let's say blue for it. I'll find out, I don't know, what will I use. Printer, RG45, router, let's see. So you don't need to click when you import from VirtualBox how to start. All the virtual machine from VirtualBox will start automatically when you start that. So you don't need to do this. And the important thing is to allow GNS3 to use your adapter. And here it is. Okay, so that's how it looks. I'll click OK, and I'll start creating my infrastructure. I have everything what I need. The first thing I need is the cloud, this guy here. That will be my internet, the cloud. So I'm gonna take it and drag it. And I'll release it here. Now, when I'm prompted where to put it, on my real machine or the GNS3 virtual machine, always choose the the virtual machine. Here it is. Here's the cloud. Now, I need to do a little bit more on this one. I'll right click and I'll go configure. Now, you see there are two interfaces on the cloud which are available. Well, actually, these two interfaces, guys, if I come here, if I open this one and I do virtual machine settings, you guessed it. The first one is the bridge one. So this one, ETH0 is the bridge one, and ETH1 is the NAT one we have here. Okay? So what I need actually is the bridge one to be faced there. I want bridge. And as you see, the IP address of this machine is 192.168.60.42. You see it here, right? So it's from the same network where my laptop it is. So I'm expecting also to receive the same address there. So this is the one. I'll click, I'll minimize this. There are some more though, which I might need. So I don't see them. If I click here, you see I don't see anything. I'll click Show Special Ethernet Interfaces. And from here, I choose Viber 0. And I'll say Add. Here it is. And then I'll say Apply. And I'll say OK. So my cloud now has 3 interfaces which I could use. Click twice and I'll change the name Internet. My aim is to create the same thing, much better to look actually, into GNS3. Here it is. That's the Internet. The next thing, I need my firewall. Here it is. I just drag and drop it. Now, notice that it will be installed on the virtual machine. So, it will be installed on the my real machine since it's a virtual box. Everything what's a virtual box, it goes directly on your real machine. So you see it here on the right side where it says server somewhere. Then I would connect them. So we set, I'll click here, and we choose ETH0. We said that's our adapter which is bridged to our laptop. So choose ETH0. You see my, when I click here on this like RG45 cable, it's changed to Sniper Cross. Then I'll go over the firewall and I click again, and I'll choose Internet 1. We mentioned it before. The OpenSense in contrast with pfSense using the second interface for one, not the first one. So that's why I'm going to choose the Ethernet 1, not the Ethernet 0. The Ethernet 0 will be my internal interface, my LAN. So move a little bit. I'll click on the fourth icon on the top and I'll see my interface names. Here it is. Very easy. I'll move them appropriately. And I'll do the same. Now I'll drag one of the switches. So when you have viral, you go File, Import Appliance. You navigate wherever the viral is. I'm not going to import it. I already have it, but I'll show it to you. I'll click here on the tableau. Because I'm not going to import it, I'm going to use it now. Use any one of these, doesn't matter which one. The switch is more important, I guess. You do open. Now it will ask you where. You always choose the VM. You do next. You do next. Now it will find out all the needed files into the viral folder. And it will give you a green one on the top. Here it is. This one, the top one. You do next. It will import it. You need to wait a little bit, and then it's there. Then you do also for the router, and that's all. For now, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna put my Cisco router, my Cisco switch here once. Well, I need 3 of them, right? I'll put it second time for the DMZ, and I'll put it third time for my management, which at the moment is my LAN, right? Here it is, 3 of them. I'll change the names appropriately. So after changing the names, I'm going to connect. Now, very important, Ethernet 0 to go to the switch 1. ETH2 to go to the switch 2. and the ETH3 to go to the switch 3. Very important thing. So ETH0 from the internet, from the cloud, supposed to go to ETH1. ETH0 to switch 1, and the other ones, they go appropriately. So here how it goes. Now I'm gonna change a little bit here. Actually, I'll put only the Windows 10. Just gonna put the Windows 10 here. It's called, if you remember, Gbox. So I'll just put it here. Here it is. I'll call it Gbox. Then I'll put the web server, which is this one. So my web server, it's supposed to be somewhere at the end. Here it is. I'll put it on my DMZ. Here's the web server. I'll change the name appropriately. Here it is. The next thing I'll do, I will connect these guys to the switches. So this one, I'll connect here, and this one, I will connect here. Okie dokie. So here, I will put it like that. We'll put this one like this. I'll move this a little bit so to see the interfaces. So here how I'm finding it. Once again, .34 is the IP address you have on when you do ipconfig. Oh, .1 is the default gateway. Here it is, and the network itself. So I see the subnet mask also. Now it's the same network here, but I have another gateway since I have the default the GNS3 virtual machine, and that's the address .42. What I'm seeing here. And the one which is under the E1, I'm gonna see it as soon as my virtual box is on. My firewall, my virtual box machine. So I'm just waiting. My firewall's on, and when I see one and the DHCP, it says 192.168.60.82. So that's the IP address I have here. So I'll click here, then .82, and I'm done. So the one network, which is this one, so I'll put here WA.N. I'll clone this. Well, this is my one, as well as this guy here is my one too. I could change the, right? So this is the same thing. I have two default gateways simply because I'm using something in between, right? That's my GNS3 virtual machine. But as you see, it's in the same network since we did some preparations. Here it is, okay? And once again, if I would like to check from my real computer, if I would like to ping the .82, well, let's see. If I ping from my real computer 192.168.60.82, now it's possible to not be pingable. It is possible. I'll see them. It will open the console of Solar Putty. Hey, here it is. It's opening. Okay, it's opening the first one, and it will open the next one. I will wait a little bit until they're boots up. Now I need to start these switches because they're 3-layer switches. They have routers inside, right? That's why. The 2-layer switches I don't need to start. And I'm expecting to see ping reply. Even though we see it like this, it's okay. Let's do ipconfig to see what's the ipconfig. Let's see what's the IP address. Most probably it's 206. So we're gonna put this IP address here right away. So it's .206. Voila. And we need to see our server. Easy. Open the terminal. So this is the schema. We have all the IP addresses, networks, names, portions of the network, everything we see. Okay. Now what we need to do here is the next part actually is to try to access from internet, from our laptop, to access the website, right? So for this reason, I will open my JBox. I'll open my Internet Explorer. Okay, I'll navigate to the 192.168.100.254. When I open, I'll go to the interfaces just to be sure all the interfaces. Okay, DMZ LAN 1, I have all of them. I obviously have the DHCPs there. So what I need to do is to go to the firewall, aliases, and on the aliases, I'm going to create one. Well, I already have one actually. If I open this one, I'll check the IP address. I already created. Here how you created it actually. You call it something. The IP address, well, this one is not good anymore. It's 192.168.202. So I'm just gonna use a new one. So 192.168.200.202. Okay, the description is web server. You just save this thing. That's your alias of your web server. Then you go to NAT and port forward here. I already have a port forwarding rule. It's for this one, 4444. It says web server here, right? And if you would like to see how the rule is done, here it is. I'll click on edit. You choose the WAN interface, the TCP IP version 4, the protocols TCP. Wherever source says advanced, you click on the advanced button. The source supposed to be any. Source port range any. Then I'll do one address here on the destination. Then for destination port range, I'll choose other, and I'll choose 444. I already checked that there is no clash. I mean, they're not in use, these ports. The target IP address, I need to use my alias, which I just created. The redirected target port is HTTP. Description, you put wherever you want. And in the NAT reflection, you could enable. You could say enable. And then you just save this rule, and you need to apply the changes. And once it's done, most probably when you open now your browser and you put the address which you translated just 192.168.6082, so 192.168.60.82, and you translate to the port 4444 as we did. Well, let's see what's going on now. So the 444 ports were in use before this. That was the reason. Okay, here how you accessed it from your real computers, and you have access. Now